I give you food, I give you a roof, I give you a life.
我要我的孩子有想法啊，我的孩子要很独立啊。
I think the first thing I would do before I ever build a family or anything is go to therapy.
I respect to you by actions, not because of your terms that you give it to me.
Hello everyone, what's poppin'? Welcome back to yet another episode of Bouncing Board. If you're new here, welcome to our channel. Bouncing Board aims to be a gateway for meaningful connections for young adults through a series of fun, intellectual, and random questions. I'm your host Erica, and today we obviously have 4 fabulous speakers from 4 very different backgrounds. First of all, we have Bernice.
Hi everyone, I'm Bernice. I'm 18 this year, turning 19 in June.
Awesome! So Bernice is a dancer and she'll be opening her handicraft brand called Hira Birao. Am I pronouncing this correctly? I hope I'm not butchering it. Hira Birao in April. And yes, if you're an art lover, please tune in to Instagram. Next, we have energetic Evelyn. Evelyn, say hi!
Hi guys, it's good to be here. Nice to meet y'all.
If you know Evelyn like I do, she's like everybody's personal hype woman, and she's also a massive, I mean very massive BTS fan. So yes, go armies, go armies.
Yes, let's get it.
Okay, then we have Bong. And Bong and I met many years ago in a drama camp, and he's wearing the shirt for the drama camp now. And he's always been a very chill dude, and he has this goal in life, which is to bring a little more laughter in people by making memes.
Hi, glad to be here. Thank you, Erica.
And last but not least, we have Jetson. And Jetson has been a runner, I think, for most of his high school life, even now. And you do long run, right, Jetson? Like, 跑长跑.
Yeah, I'm still actively running right now.
So before we continue, this will be our very first Bouncing Board episode where we might be a bit bilingual in it, because in light of Chinese New Year, we'll be also trying to keep in touch with our Chinese roots and our Chinese side. So yeah, since everybody is acquainted now, it's time to reveal today's topic. The things I don't say to my Chinese parents. Okay? And you know, Asian parenting has it's a very common topic amongst our generation of friends and people, and especially in the Asian community. And as I speak on behalf of all of our fabulous speakers here, it's safe to say that the way our parents have brought us up has had major influences on our lives and who we are as individuals today. Hence, with Chinese New Year coming to an end by the time this video is uploaded, what better time for us as Chinese kids to reflect on the yins and yangs of the relationships with our family, as well as what the concept of jia means to us. What is the most annoying question that Chinese parents ask during Chinese New Year? Like, in your opinion, which is like 那个最够力、你最不想听到的那个问题?
For me, the worst is probably 然后你要读什么? Like, okay, because like I'm choosing my degree right now. It's decided, but previously they'll be like, oh, so what are you gonna study? Because like I was a science stream student. So they would think, oh my god, are you gonna do pharmacy? Oh, are you gonna be a doctor? You should do engineering like your dad. So I'm just like, it's very hard to condense a 2-minute conversation to your entire life plan. Like, okay, so this is why I want to do this, and here's the reasonings. Because if you do not explain, they will judge you based off that one sentence you give them. Like, oh, 我要转文科. And you'll be like, huh, but 你读了理科读了这么多年，你要转文啊? And you're just kind of like, well, you see, it's a very long story, but are you ready to listen?
Actually, for me, right, I do agree with the study one. Because, you know, every time they will ask like, oh, how's your result? And what you want to be in the future, something like that. So if you can't give them an answer about what you want to be in the future, they will kind of just give you the conclusion that, oh my god, this kid, you know, it's useless. They will just talk to your parents like, you can't rely on this kid, you know, it's like they don't know what to do in the future.
Now it's time for Audience Ask, where we feature one audience question from our Instagram on each of our episodes. Follow Bouncing Board's Instagram right now to get your question featured on our future episodes. Now let's get back to the video. For this week of Audience Ask, the question we'll be talking about is something to do with this word that I can never pronounce properly, filial piety. Oh my god, I'm sorry if I butchered it, people. I'm sorry. It's actually filial piety. So filial piety is also known as xiao, which means a strong loyalty and deference to one's parents or to one's ancestors. And it's something that is deeply embedded in our Chinese culture. And this ideology has played like a huge part in how us Chinese people view respect. But I believe that the children of today's modern 21st century would think otherwise towards this concept. For respect is sometimes not something that everybody will give to other people easily. So for our question from Audience Ask today, as Chinese, should we be given or should we be taught to respect our parents and elderlies no matter what?
So for my family, right, they are like a very, I think I could say like a traditional mindset, quite a family, because we can't actually raise our voice to our family no matter like if they misunderstood us or they yeah, misunderstood us. And when we like raise our voice back, they'll be like, yeah, so what's your matter? I give you food, I give you a roof, I give you a life. And then this kind of words, and they will make you feel bad for like raising voice for them, but they don't really care about like they actually hurt you with their words or anything. They just feel like I have the right to talk like that to you, but you don't have the right to talk that to me because I'm older than you and you should respect me.
Whenever it's Chinese New Year, I always stress that. Then my dad would just send me like the whole PDF, like how do you address each one another. He really did. And I remember it was last 2 years. My God, last year was crazy. Then I have to remember like, okay, then sometimes my dad would like give me a pop quiz in the middle of nowhere. He would just say, okay, this is your grandfather's brother, sister. Then if you say about 孝顺 about like filial piety, right? Yeah, then I feel very stressed. It's because I can't remember. My Chinese is really that bad, even though I do zong before. I failed my Chinese all the way back then. And now you're like asking me to remember all this in order to show them that I am 孝了，我对你们有孝顺. I respect the elders. I respect to you by actions, not because of your terms that you give it to me. This is my opinion.
For me, I personally think 孝顺 is a very important thing. Like to my extended family, it's a case by case basis, but directly to my parents or like to my aunties that I'm really or uncles I'm really close with, I think it's important. And there's a difference between being respectful and being polite. Like if I call you your name, I treat you like you're an elderly. That's me being polite because 我有家教. But if I respect you, I do agree with respect being earned because honestly, it doesn't only like respect doesn't only apply like to your older parents. Sometimes it applies to your siblings. So like it's like, oh, your sister's older than you should respect her. But like sometimes it's very hard to respect someone that you do not feel like you should respect them. But I will still be polite and still respect you to a certain degree because end of the day we consider the fact that oh, you're my sister or you're my parent or you're my dad and stuff like that. I don't know about you guys, but I've had experiences where I argue with my dad to the point he is shouting at me, I'm shouting at him. When I was younger, I used to have this fire. I was like, you know what? I want to challenge him. I want to debate with him on this topic. I feel like my point is relevant. But like, I think somewhere towards, like after my mother's passing, and then it's like we had like a big like life change. So I just really sat down and I thought about it. It's like, you know what? I should probably, let him talk it over. And after that, when he calms down, he will try to come down to my level and understand what I mean. Because sometimes during an argument, the parents just have this pride and ego that they cannot put down. So if they cannot put it down, then why not us?
Yeah, I totally agree on what Venice said lah. It's like I kind of know what she experienced. For me lah, I experienced that too lah. Like my parents like they start to argue with me or what, then I definitely know like what's gonna happen at the end. Like 一定是没有好下场的 then we will end up feeling sad for each other or what, then I think it's no good lah. So I'll just keep quiet, then always like in my ears are functioning but in my heart it's like whatever like that. Then I just keep on listening, then be present, just be present like maybe they want to scold something or what, like fasit lah. Then I think for me just like let the time pass, and then just let it be. Then after that it will be okay already.
Most kids in Asian households, especially in this part of the world, expressing themselves to their parents and even having conversations with their parents is actually a huge challenge for them. I used to have friends telling me that they don't talk during dinner and they don't really talk throughout the day either. Kind of sad how so many of my Asian or like my Chinese friends find it normal for them to not tell their parents about how they feel or just talk to them in general. And I think this is very detrimental to families because oftentimes you would see how the relationship strains even further once they go overseas, once they go out to work, you know. So I would like to ask you all, is it hard for you to open up and be vulnerable with your parents as Chinese kids?
Okay, for me, the vulnerability thing, like, it's not my thing, like, I don't do this in front of my parents. I don't show my weakness, like, 我最弱的一面 or I show sympathy to them or what. So I think that when I show my vulnerability, my vulnerable side, I'll show it to my friends, my best friend or my girlfriend. Yeah, so I think that my friends will be like very got sympathy to me more a bit like they are in my shoes, then I know they are there for me, then I always tell them. I won't tell my parents and also another thing like myself I'm a very forgetful person so like some I don't know like some feelings emotions I will forget it very fast like you know like easy come easy go so like 开心就好 like always be happy. So I really forget all these bad things from my parents.
For me, right, actually, I totally agree with what Jadson said just now. It's like I express my feeling to my idol. You know, that's why I'm like a big fans of BTS. You know, that's part of the reason. You know, but I don't know. As I become like a grown up, I actually feel like I can understand my mom. Like, why would she treat me like that when I was young? Because in my family, mental health is like, it doesn't exist in the vocabulary, you know? It's like, when I talk about like depression, this kind of stuff with my mom, she will be like, "Hi, you see, if you don't have money, you see you depressed or not." They feel like they are quite more like, you know, reality type of person. Because my mom, she actually like been through a lot, so it makes her have this kind of having this kind of thought. It's quite understandable, you know. So I personally, for my mom, right, I don't really express my feeling with her about like when I'm feeling down. I won't go to her and tell her like, "Mom, I'm feeling down," because I know she will be like, "What down, huh? What? I give you food, I give you everything. Why you still ungrateful?" Something like that. But you know, there's one day I saw Instagram, my friend, she posted something which I relate a lot, is that my like she said her parents, oh, they don't support her journey but only support the result. Like she expressed these words on the Insta story, so I relate a lot. Because I don't know, it's like they won't look at the effort or everything you put, but they just based on the result, they will judge you like, yeah, you are not working hard enough, this and that. So it's hard for me to express my difficulties when I'm throughout the journey of achieving something. It's hard for me to express. But other than that, I think it's quite okay with my mom and my family.
Well, actually, I would agree with. I remember Evelyn said something like her idol. I'm a very, very big fan of GOT7.
국내외 차트를 점령하며 강렬한
They got me through my entire MCO. Honestly, without them, probably wouldn't be mentally sane now, but lucky for me, my family created a very raw and vulnerable environment for all of us to talk about a lot of things. But with that comes pros and cons lah. Because sometimes if you know too much about each other, the fights get even more personal. Yeah, and I've been lucky lah. Like, I'm not gonna deny, I've had my years where I was like, oh my god, my dad is an absolute asshole. I hate him. I'm gonna move out of this house. I've obviously had that phase, but I think maybe it's because like you reach an age and then he just sat me down and he told me like, I feel like you're mature enough to take anything that I might be feeling, so I now feel comfortable to tell you what I truly feel. So when he does that, it brings out the practice. Like, initially for me, I personally would do what Jetson do. I would like move to my friends and like I would talk to my friends more because there's lesser judgment, I think. But then I realized over the years, like, each people hold different keys to your heart. You don't just have one person that can immediately unlock your heart. Everybody has a different key and they're different sized and they unlock different locks in your heart. So there is different people for different parts of your heart. So you can't expect your family to fulfill the entire thing.
Breakdowns with my dad. I don't know how many times I broke down. I'm quite a vulnerable person. I'm quite a rare vulnerable person, but only at times you can see me as a happy-go-lucky, smiling kid that just doesn't feel sad all the time. But I do not know. I can't remember how many times I broke down with my dad. But there are times that he doesn't take him off. I think he has it inside, but he doesn't show it outside. He doesn't know how to respond to it. I'm not sure whether is it the inexperience of a parent to how do they respond to the kid like that, or is it something like an Asian parent thing that this is the phase that children have to go in order to be independent or to be mentally strong when they go out to work. I don't know.
It's a very common saying that I hear from kids nowadays where they'd say they never want to be like their parents when they grow up. And because of the experiences that their parents have put them through, for most of the speakers here, we've all been hurt in some way by our parents. And it's kind of shocking how so many kids have learned to mature or learn to be independent and grow out of it because of what our parents have put us through. So the question is, I am afraid I'll be like my parents. Do you associate with this fear?
For me, I don't associate with this fear though, because I told myself that I'm going to be the best parent as I could based on my experience, okay? Based on my experience, which is, like, I'm gonna understand my children's situation before I say anything. You know how my family will, like, they will always assume first based on like they always say like, yeah, 我很了解你, I understand you well. So no matter what happens, they will just assume you before they understand the whole situation, which kind of hurt you in some way somehow. Yeah, so there's something like I always told myself, like, whenever my family treat me like this, which I don't feel comfortable with, I told myself that, okay, I won't do this to my kids in the future, or maybe I won't have kids in the future, you know. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's because of my family or what, or my dad and my mom. I tend to having, instead of having fear associated with like my children in the future, I would say I'm having fear with my marriage or like build up a family in the future. That's, yeah.
For me, I think the first thing I would do before I ever build a family or anything is go to therapy. I am not going to put my children through my own issues. I mean, if I have children, but like as of now, I have no plans on marriage or children. So I think one mistake that especially Asian families make is we think therapy is meant for people who are really really sick, but therapy is meant to be able to receive like a more logical, more rational approach, a more scientific breakdown of what you're feeling, which will allow you to understand what's happening, and you're more less likely to force any of your issues on to your own family members, like, or your own child. Because like, if you think about it, all of your arguments with your parents stems from your own issues and their own issues, and you put it together, it's a whole bundle of issues. So let's go to therapy, guys.
I found that myself actually got the habits of my mom. Again, the good side from my mom as well. And my dad's, yeah, same as my dad. I wanted to say that then, never mind. But whether will I be my parents in the future, I would say a very good balance of them, like between 50 mom, 50 dad. So again, my dad has been, yeah, I'll try my best not to be like that. Again, no, I'm not planning to have any family now. Hell, I told my mom, I don't think I want to have children. I want to have like a dog or a cat, and that's all for my 6 years of my life in the end.
So now, for our last question, it's pretty simple one. As Asian kids, there's a lot of feelings and thoughts that we keep away from our parents. So, what is something you'd like all Asian parents to know? And what is one thing that you would like to say to your parents?
Okay, my advice to Asian parents out there is, if you cannot talk to them, write them a letter, write them a note, do anything. It can be any form of communication. If you don't want to write them a letter, send them an email. Okay? Just try to let them know that you are there, because sometimes they might not even consider you an option. And also figure out what your child's love language is. And then, yeah, okay. My personal message to my dad and my mom is, it's nothing in general, because honestly I tell them all of these a lot, but like, I'm a very troublesome child. I have a lot of hanky-pankies. I do a lot of stupid things. I have too many ideas. So thank you for supporting me and not judging me, but letting me do it anyways. And in general, even if you do not agree, I'm very blessed that sometimes you would choose to step down to come down to my level and communicate with me, or in the very least give me a chance to do things, even if you feel like it's against your own personal standing, but you let me do it anyways. So thanks for dealing with this annoying child.
Okay, I'll go next. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, so for the advice that I'm giving to the all Asian parents is willing to listen and communication. I think it's the most important thing. Just sit down and listen. If you want to judge in your heart. You don't say something that's hurtful things out, because sometimes your kids, they just want a listener that they trust the most, instead of you just, judging and giving them advice. So yeah, a good listener, it's what I encourage. And the personal message for my mother is oh my god. Okay. So, um, you know, yeah, I know I failed you a lot of times since I was young, a lot of trouble. Yeah, and disappoint you in some way. Yeah, I just, oh my god. So, I hope in the future, or maybe right now, I can be the best daughter as I could, as you try to be the best mom as you could. So yeah, that's all. Oh my god. Ah! Yeah, oh my god. Oh my god, like the tears is like in my eyes, man. What the fuck? Yeah, but okay, I also want to add something, is like I hope like a thank you will be enough for all these years. Yeah.
To all Asian parents, like the best advice, if you're listening, like the best advice I could give is to really understand your children. Like although like you're busy with work, you're busy with your stuff, you're busy hanging out with your friends, but you really need to stand in your children's shoes. Like you need to really understand them a lot, like know what they gone through in work, or maybe know what games are they playing right now, or what friends they hang out with right now. Like understand them, like don't be like very bully or what so just be very understanding. So and also it's like when you don't understand them, then maybe you can try to get some things going on, like if your children likes sneakers or video games, then play with them then buy some sneakers on your own right. Okay, so you will feel the very different one. To my parents, mom and dad and stepmom, yeah, first of all, like sorry for all the behaviors, all my very bullshit behaviors, and if I disappoint you, like if I did really make you upset or what, like I'm truly sorry. Really, like I hope to be your ideal son or what. Like maybe sometimes I'll overreact, or sometimes I'll just make you feel very angry at me. So I think that this is already past lah. Like what's past is past. So we look forward to the future. Okay, yeah. In the future, like I hope like we wouldn't face any more disappointments, like arguments, like don't make our environment upset. So yeah, a big congrats to you, and yeah, you've make your son 21 already. I'm 21 this year. Yay, hooray. Yeah, and also I'm gonna step out of my comfort zone. I'm going to enter society, start a career. Like I hope to make you guys proud lah. Yeah, that's all.
Wait, can I add on just one thing? In addition to what I was going to say, this one specifically to my dad. Thank you very much for being my super dad. I love you a lot.
To all Asian parents, I would say money can't buy to see the son of money can't buy the sight of your children smiling at you. Sometimes it's good to listen to them or to ask them. I know it's quite cringy quote. I see Erica's there. Sometimes it's better to listen to them. What does your children have to say, better than just asking them to seek their friends, because you are the one that has more experience. You are the one that has gone through time and time again. So in order for your children not to go through the wrong path that you have been to, it's better to just ask them and to set them on the right path rather than just letting them to go crazy. To my parents, this feels like those UPSR. Bayangkan ibu bapa anda dan tuliskan satu surat. To my parents, I would say thank you for this 20 years of sparing, this 20 years of education, this 20 years of hardships to make and to bring me to where I am, to allow me to have this kind of experience and in order to share with the other people and to the YouTube and to the internet, so that other people, other children and other family will not have to go through what we have gone through before. Yep.
Bong, I didn't find it cringy. I just think that it's so true, and it's not cringy. I just, you got the feels, yeah. But okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, viewers of Bouncing Board, we are wrapping up the 4th episode of Bouncing Board. And before we wrap it up, I'd just like to say to all Asian parents out there, or all Chinese parents out there, or just parents out there in general, please know that your children love you a lot, and I think your children would know that you love them a lot too. To my parents out there, I mean, you don't need me to tell you how I feel about y'all, because I tell you guys very often about it, but Thank you for raising me, and I know I'm a very difficult child at times, but I hope you know that I work my ass off every day to be the best daughter that I can be. And no matter how many shitty experiences you've put me through, there's one thing I will never let go of, and the one thing I'll never cut off from my life, even though how toxic it can be, is definitely family. So thank you everyone for joining us for today's episode. We'll see you in the next episode of Bouncing Board.